Hello, Amaterasu Presents. This is a Tuxu coming in hot. Uh, do have Sunrise Samurai here fixing a few things here and there as we hop into these picks and bans. I already have a few Mom Ganesh, uh, Karon, and Kali, all very strong picks, in my opinion at least. Um, and they definitely feel so as well. Ooh, Vomit coming in. Yeah, this this new kind of meta of just auto attackers having so much of that get ban. You know that's just respect. I don't think Geb gets banned as much nowadays. But we do have Hachi, probably the top hunter at the moment, being top picked over here on order side. And we're now waiting to see what's going to be picked over here on Chaos.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
just to fill you back in, since you weren't present for the previous two games, Geb has been picked every single time on SPGamers side. Yuskos has just been running that down and been saving just everybody. Kali, of course, is something you just cannot give to Jungle Buff, and then they actually put Karon in mid first game, and it kind of just dominated the game. So those are all respect bans. They've foregone any version of meta bans in favor of we don't let them have the gods they want to have.
Definitely, it definitely says a lot whenever you start respect banning your opponent. It says a lot that for them that they're you know that they have shown that they're these picks are worth not you don't want in the game, and also says a lot about the other team understanding that hey, this is this is something we don't want to play against.
You,
Do you see the Nike Thor being picked up? Very staples in solo and jungle respectively. The Achilles coming in, possibly a flex pick to to support, but more than likely also a solo pick. Um,
yeah, the danger with those respect bans, of course, is what we're seeing here. Is now we give the people that you're afraid of the really good gods. Is like how badly is this going to go if they can run the game on questionable questionable picks? Now they're going to have the real meta behind them.
Very much so, and very much so.
Oh,
Do you see Thanatos coming in? I'm a little surprised we haven't seen an Athena pick yet. Is Athena just like not good right now,
Athena
or are they
has
just
fallen
overlooking?
off. She doesn't do quite as well as she used to, at least in my book. The meta right now for support is very aggressive. It's very run it down, and Athena just kind of gets beaten up in that meta. She's definitely very playable. The support or the global ultimate is always strong, but it's not the SSS tier that it was last year.
I guess. Ooh, that cuckoo pickup. Uh, definitely strong pick.
I'm back. I was in awe of your guys' phenomenal casting. I was letting everyone. You're certainly not wrong with the Athena of last year. She was this end all be all for everybody, and now you're watching. Teams are very aware of how to respond to that. Just to come in where you guys were at last game, we did see how fantastic Skinner was on Thor last game. I think it's absolutely criminal to give it back to him. But this Achilles pickup on the other end is pretty strong. So far, very very strong drafts from both teams. We're seeing a lot more thought being put into these drafts than in game one or game two.
Yes, definitely a lot of thought going in. I do see some usual suspects. Some unusual ones with this Geb, but I do understand he was a very strong last game. Probably
Yeah,
not something you want to play against.
Geb was used in game one and two. And Yeet Jungle Buff just loves these super aggressive plays in, and a vast majority of the reason that he was able to do so was this game phenomenal shields thrown his way, keeping him alive. Game one he was Kali, so he was keeping himself alive. Game two, a large reason why the Bakasura was able to do what the Bakasura was able to do was through the Geb. So very smart to not ban out the Bakasura and ban out the Geb instead. Force SPGamers over to a different support. So it's going to be very interesting to see where they land, considering 4 supports are already taken off the board.
Yeah, these comp picks. Ooh, Fafnir. Do you love seeing the Greed Dragon come in? And Scylla.
Very, very interesting pickup on the Fafnir. Typically, you go the Faf when you have it before the Scylla gets locked in. Gun to my head, I would have said that this was going to be a double carry comp, with just the Fafnir. The Fafnir is typically to accentuate your objective shredding, super hard rundown comps. I don't necessarily understand the pickup for everything else that SPGamers has. On the opposite end, the Atlas, I think Atlas is fantastic into their team. Looking at this blindly, I think Nameless won this draft phase single-handedly.
I kind of want to agree with you. Just like seeing meta picks. I'm sure there's a few comfort picks in there as well, and just the Thor, the Cuckoo, being very meta. Nike, I feel like played really well last game. And it's just unfortunate the other team was able to do what
Nike
they did.
was picked up for SPGamers, so now it's going the way of Nameless. Nameless, not saying that their strong point is their solo laner, but now putting him on something like a Nike that he doesn't necessarily need to be as in their face and as involved. I think we're gonna finally start to see success from Devardo on this Nike pickup into this Achilles.
Yes, definitely so. Definitely so.
And I have no secret that I was very, very skeptical of this Hoi pickup. My man showed me that it should be in meta right now. This Hoi was absolutely phenomenal into that Jingwei last game.
I think definitely so. I think right now we are seeing a bit of a crit meta come back and have just a very strong resurgence, and Ho Yi not being able to have consecutive crits, just really strong counter pick and counterplay.
Yeah, who knew? We're watching metas be set up right now in this finals matchup. Lower division teaching us some things. We're really I looking at drafts alone, I cannot see a way that Nameless loses this game.
Unfortunately, though, drafts aren't what win and lose games. It's gameplay. So we will definitely have to see if Nameless can come in strong as they've set themselves up to, or if SPGamers is going to show that they are just better players.
Looking the way of SPGamers, where do you see their win con being?
It's probably a lot to do with the double execute. So making sure Thanatos just kind of just has an amazing game. Seeing Achilles come out strong. Fafnir definitely needs to do a lot to help his team, with buffing them and also just kind of running at the enemies.
And then when I look on the opposite side, I see a lot of win cons.
I definitely agree with you on that.
Yeah, this Kukulkan, this Thor, Atlas is easily one of my favorite supports in the game right now. We watched him picked up as a pocket pick in the World's Finals for the pros, where Polar Bear Mike just showed how much of a pace setter this pick can be. And Sir Ominous has easily been one of my MVPs of this lower division bracket for this playoff matchups. So now you put him on something as strong of a pick as that. I really want to see Sir Ominous pop off on this Atlas pickup.
Yes. I think we're gonna cut to a small break while we wait for everyone to load in, and we'll be back for the start of the game. But you never do. Sugar, there's a reason why we lose.
won. Let's have a bit of fun till I downfall. My love, if you feel like I do right now, don't say you're on the run to the other side. My love, you say you wanna try, but you never do. Sugar, there's a reason why we lose. You say you wanna try, but you never do.
And we're back. Game 3 of this lower divisions Amaterasu's Gauntlet League finals between SPGamers and Nameless. So the picks are all in, the drafts are set. We're going into game 3. I'd argue the most important match for these best of fives. How do you want to see the pace of this game set, Atexio, and by who?
Honestly, I just kind of want this game just to go, really hard, really dirty. That's kind of what SPGamers kind of need is to have just a lot of executes, a lot of just dirty fights, I also kind of think that it's going to be clean and classic for Nameless, where they're going to have a good amount of just CC on people in the middle of a cuckoo tornado.
Yeah, but listen, both teams hyper aggression. I really want to see both of these jungles get at it real early. Oof, they're showing why this has been banned every game so far. Really putting it to that Nike very early, getting low, but those health pots are gonna take. So not gonna worry her too much, and she's gonna transition to a very safe clear. That's the saving grace of this Nike pick.
Yeah, I was biting a couple nails there, thinking we were about to see a very early pick in this game 3.
Certainly, the stronger part of SPGamers is their solo laner, and you let him have one of the premier solo lane picks in the game right now because you wanted to ban away Yeet jungle buff. We'll see if this turns out to haunt them in the long run.
It might. I think it's interesting watching this jungle here, and kind of hunt and look for possible pickoffs.
Yeah, creeping around. Walls out the whole thing. The Hachiman, big damage onto the Hachiman. The bell is popped. Fafnir, but the away from Atlas pulls him back. Surely going to be a first blood onto this Hachiman, and it goes Ginder picking up where he left off on this Thor pick.
Ooh, definitely not the best there. Unfortunately, not. I don't think there was much that they could kind of do there to counter that. Very unfortunate, but definitely shows the need for wards. And I understand it's still early, but hopefully we see some good ward pickups here this match.
Yeah, that shows the ability of these two different supports to affect the game early. As I understand, this may be one of Yusko's primary pickups on this Fafnir. He may be fantastic on it. Unfortunately, Fafnir stun is nothing to compare to an Atlas two-man pull. That significantly far back early game finds him that easy first blood.
Yeah, definitely very unfortunate, but that's what you get for having a more aggressive pick over a more traditional Geb.
Ooh, the blink in Amnatos finds himself the blue buff steal, takes to the skies. Is not going to continue this fight though. Is going to take that blue buff steal as a win and ult himself out.
his other abilities must have been down, because if I'm playing that Thana, first off, I'm probably not playing the finals of Heaven's Gauntlet. But I'm definitely looking at them going, I land on you, I won you, I threw you, two, and I just auto away, and you're just gone. And that's
Yeah, he used the one to steal the blue buff, so he wasn't going to have the ability to turn around and do that. As well as Thor sitting full health, you know, that probably wouldn't have ended in his favor. Nike coming back. Nike now turning into the aggressor onto this Achilles. He did have to use that teleport, but she finds herself with a health advantage and is pushing that as best she can early. Is going to find herself the very small victory of that Demi, but that can transition. Thor sticking to this dual lane, ults in on a Hachiman, does big damage, and the ult from the Atlas comes out to pick up the kill. The horse takes him away, but not far enough. A second kill onto this Hachiman. This dual lane getting strong due to these early jungle buff invades.
Yes, yeah, this Atlas is really showing his worth this game. Just absolutely making plays happen, forcing a disadvantage for this Hachi. Already having 2 deaths under his belt, being the two kills for Nameless.
Yeah, real strong pickup from this, and this Thor picking up exactly where he left on. Thor found so much success that last game due to how aggressive he was early on, and transitioned that into the. He's sticking exactly what was so successful for him, picking up into this game 3. This is exactly what I wanted to see. Nameless starting this game off strong. Nice little 1,000 gold lead this early into the game. Is going to bode very well for them.
Yeah, and this is definitely they're definitely taking advantage of these picks, and this Thana just, unfortunately, whenever you have to ult away to get away, you can't execute for another, you know, how many ever seconds. Is it 80 seconds? 80 seconds for that ult.
Yeah. Steel certainly trying to set up his Achilles. We saw a very odd from them last game, and then as I say that, he stole that blue. That didn't amount to anything going forward. They find a kill onto this Achilles, sitting 3-0 for Nameless, and they're gonna go for a blue invade themselves. Nike ult is down, but Thor does try his best, does not pick it up, and has to use the ult out. Thor makes it away clean. Thanatos is still creeping around, trying to hopefully pick up some damage onto that Nike, but Nike's gonna smell it out and make sure she's sitting next to the tower safely.
Very safe play by Nike, you know, just understanding that hey, you know, he clears the wave, then I just have to kind of stand here and, you know, then, you know, won the wave and clear it. And I don't really lose much except for, you know, a totem for my team.
Yeah, all of that going pretty successfully Nike's way. She hasn't backed yet, so we're going to watch her back and pick up a full Glad Shield in T1 of more than likely a Prophetic. So this Nike is going directly into what I wanted to see from them last game, of that as tanky as possible, and these proc items that are going to pop up between the Warriors Axe and Glad Shield. This Nike is going to be a nightmare come late game. So far, Nameless putting themselves in a very successful position. Early game, which is exactly what I wanted to see from them.
Yes, definitely so. Definitely making sure that the one aspect of that SPGamers has over Nameless, making sure they can't really use it with those executes. You know, forcing Thana to have to ult out. You know, never getting in execute threshold. You know, and this Thor looking for cheeky picks. I see him in the back, you know, just hungry for kills.
Yeah, let me point your attention over to these dual lane builds. Hoi just unfortunately finding himself into this one more wave syndrome of he's sticking around as much as possible. He does successfully avoid a Thanatos ult through his 3, but he's still just sitting on his T1 of Devos. He doesn't have any real damage to his name, is not able to do enough to that Hachiman to find a kill. Unfortunately, he found himself just sitting in lane far too long, with far too much gold in hand to make anything successful happen. Thanatos shows up. He avoids the ult, but it wasn't enough, and falls for SPGamers' first kill of the game.
Yes. People are gonna learn that this new lifesteal item, although it's kind of it's shiny and new, it's probably not the best first item pickup. I don't know about you, but I've heard some some hot takes on it. Not being as good as everyone thinks.
It's far too expensive for a first item. Off of T1, it's 2800. So off of T1, you're at 22,000 gold or 2,200 gold before you can make your first back. So that's exactly what killed for you there. As we're discussing this, you see a fight breaking down over in the solo lane side. Big damage coming off from that ult in. They're able to eat the Achilles ult, but Atlas just dancing around as much as possible. Thor shows up, he gets a 3-man plus. Of course, he's dropping on SPGamers. Darvo is able to pick up a kill, but a turnaround kill from the Nike pops off, but they're not giving up. Thor finds a second kill. What was a 4v2 turns around to be a clean 2-for-2 in Nameless' favor, I would argue. Oh, and then Thor catches out Fafnir in the middle, gets a good decent damage, but is not able to pick up a kill in the end.
Just not enough. Almost there. I'm sure this Thor is just cringing a little bit as he realizes he's just short of damage to be able to get that next kill and push his team just further into the lead.
Yeah, well, it would have been a kill onto the Faf. It wouldn't have make it or break the team. This Thor is sitting 2-0 and 3. I don't think he's gonna have too many complaints. So far, he's got 100% kill participation. We did talk a lot about these pickups. You know what? How do you feel about this Scylla pickup? Because certainly a very out of the meta right now pick. How do you feel it for this team?
I feel like it does a lot for secure. I don't really think they have much as to goes to for objective secure outside of that Scylla. So very strong there. And
deep stuff a lot of damage onto this Atlas. Tastes this guy, confirms his own kill, but dies. Thor is turning around and doing his own damage over to that. Thor is going to take it to the sky as Fafnir goes into the ult, lands onto the Scylla, procs the Scylla's beads. Kukulkan ult is off of the mark, does some decent damage to Scylla. Scylla is just waiting for that Sentinel to come back up. He doesn't come back in time, and Skinner finds his third kill of the game, but killing spree. And onto the other side, Karos picks up a pick onto this Fafnir to put himself back into the running for MVP on this Hoi Yi pick. I would have liked to have seen more after that fight, but a huge win for Nameless there, all on the back of Buff being far too aggressive for just a support kill.
Definitely. I think that's going to be the one thing that's going to kill this Nameless team. It's not knowing what objectives to go after, what to go after after you've just basically wiped the enemy team.
Famously say this stuff after. But even as we're talking about that, this Nike just a 2-level lead. We just launched her steel blue buff under the enemy team's tower. This what in theory was countered by this Achilles is showing real hard aggression. We're starting to see Darvido come into his own in this game when in the previous ones he was the weak link of this Nameless roster. With popping off, what I called at this game of them being my favorites, I'm gonna double down and say I think Nameless, if they keep doing their own thing, they got this. Aegis comes out, a kill it, Scylla's into the ult is off the mark, a blink in, this Kukulkan just putting on his juke boots, gets wave all the way back to the T2, but a crush at the wall. Scylla does find her kill finally. Thor paying way too much attention over that solo lane side as the mid laners ran down all the way to a T2. What was almost a beautiful escape is turned around by a brilliant Scylla crush over the wall.
Again, that's the strength of Scylla. I do think we are seeing a lot of kind of counter pickups on SPGamers side with this draft, and not necessarily as much of a comp Nameless has set up. But we are definitely seeing some good plays as they are punishing Nameless as they are trying to get maybe a little too greedy in some of these plays.
Yeah, they turn around there where they have the potential of this Thanatos consistently going in far deeper than he needs to. Unfortunately, Thor just was on the wrong side of the map. I don't think he's gonna find too much success continuing to do that all game. We do see a deep dive in the mid lane. Atlas ult goes out, big damage onto Thanatos. Thanatos falls before he is able to take Sky.
I almost would have wanted to see a Scylla ult there after she sickemed through, like, was that 3 of them? 2 of them in place?
AoE effect off of the Sikkim was able to root 3 of them. Did have the ultimate up, but had nobody else around her. Unfortunately, she does go into the ultimate and probably turned on pretty hard by that enemy team there.
Yes, definitely so. I do think I do think probably smarter, because I think if she had used it, then unfortunately, you know, Nameless just goes and takes Gold Fury. But then again, I don't know if they know how. Has anyone checked with them to see if they know what objectives are?
Yeah, we that's the biggest difference between these when we're looking at the upper division matches and these lower division matches. Is 2 things: it's the objective secure and the wardage. Where right now the stuff after the stuff just isn't happening. We see Thor do an attempted gank onto this duo lane, but Fafnir shows up, goes into the ult. As soon as that ult Thor comes back in, lands onto the Fafnir, just takes away the bonus health from the Fafnir transformation, doesn't do anything else further than that. A questionable ult by Thor there, but does keep his life, so at the end of the day, it doesn't cost him too much.
Yeah, I mean, it's just extra damage at that point, you know? You can clearly see that the OE has already left, so there's really no damage, no damage, no foul to you. You know, just getting an extra, 500 damage on your scorecard for the end of the game.
Yeah, he's just past stats. He saw Nike overtook him. He's trying to get back to the top D stats. Be very aggressive on his Achilles. Nike does fall into the trap of getting teleported over to that left-hand side with Achilles. So we're watching a very 5v5 group up onto this left-hand side. I want to see some picks and I want to see some objectives pulled. Nike going in deep, doesn't find anybody. Thanatos does lose a quarter of his health, but is just going to retreat with no issues. Hoi, unfortunately, not joining that fight, having to deal with minions as far in the back. So that accidental teleport over the left-hand side is going to amount to nothing. Achilles is going to use his own self-teleport back over to that right-hand side. But Nike's already on his way over there, so it's all no harm, no foul kind of deal.
Definitely. And again, a lot of dancing, but, no actual tangos going on. As we do see, just again, no Gold Fury called, no seemingly anything. Just
well, a pyro pickup by Nameless is definitely non doesn't go right out of all of them, and they will secure it free. So unfortunately, everybody forgot the point of doing it. Okay, Nike's gonna go.
There we go. I'm glad the solo laner realizes the potential of having a bomb being able to take out this tier 1.
It'd be criminal to waste it on a T1, but
I mean, this early in the game, hopefully you're gonna do more than one, but I definitely do agree it would be criminal.
The reality of it is that she also has Health Chalice, so if she is gonna be warding, she has to get rid of that thing as quick as possible.
I mean, as a soul laner, do you actually need wards?
Absolutely.
Are wards actually something you need? Because I'm sure if we were to scroll over to a wards place, it might be a scarily low number at the time.
Yeah, see, everybody's placing some decent wards except the junglers, and that's because that's jungler ego, where they don't think that they have to. That's not their job.
You are the ward. As a jungler, you are the ward.
Yeah, they don't think it's their job, so they let the
I don't understand. If I spend 50 gold on a ward, I'm not going to be able to get I'm not gonna be able to get to my, item.
Yeah, my serrated edge third item is super important.
Dude,
Like,
yeah, no, like, you just don't understand, like,
that is big damage from the Thor. Thor gets a beautiful wall into the Hachiman, does everything, burns out both relics, but it's getting danced out right now. Oof, that was almost painful to watch, but Skinder does find the kill to put himself on a rampage. 5-0, 18 minutes in.
I will definitely say the beauty of these games. Oh, do we have an actual gold call going on? Is it gonna get stolen by
Hands down, they see where Achilles is over on the side. Nameless picked up. That, don't let it sleep on you. The amount of shred that Atlas ult can absolutely put out and put them into a very successful spot.
I don't know about you, Sunrise, but I was really, really hoping that this Fafnir would come in and show why he is the King of Dragons and steal it with a hammer.
So you missed the last game, but a Gold Fury was stolen with a Geb 2, and I would hope that Nameless learned their lesson and weren't gonna let that happen again.
Yes, that's. I've stolen many objectives with my support abilities in my time. You know, it's definitely something to watch.
It's a feels bad moment there. They come in, Thor they're just grouping and just ripping towers out. They're Nameless have this minor gold lead and they're really pushing it. Unfortunately, Skinder finds himself caught out for a shutdown, goes away of the Scylla. It's probably a huge gold bump for Scylla. Blink in by Jungle Buff, sends out silences out the Nike, but doesn't do any significant damage. The turnaround coming out through the trying to forward it. He's taking a significant amount of damage. There's a retreat from me.
Yes, we are seeing a lot of damage go out. Do you see the Ho Yi ult? We do see just ults everywhere. Ults everywhere. Don't really get yet, but will that change? That definitely does change. Sill's very close to getting that second kill with that ult. Now she's being run at.
From this Atlas and the Nike, they are able to find the kill. Beads do come out onto the from the Scylla, but that is going to be her ability to escape pretty clean just for her bead usage. Achilles sitting pretty low too, but nobody else having the ability to respond. Unfortunately, we're all of that is due to Skinwalker just getting caught out. I'm sorry, Skinder just getting caught out. Yeah, not Skinwalker. Skinder just
Very
getting
talented.
caught out.
Very
Yeah, able to
talented, that
cam
Skinwalker.
and play in the game at the same time.
Dude, he's able to cam, comment on, and play in the game at the same time. Dude is just absolutely, par none.
Yeah. Names do pick up the next objective, so however that fight may have went down, they are still pretty confidently in the lead. No significant loss going forward yet. Their side.
I will say, this Fafnir, like, I don't know if this Fafnir in comms is not, like, calling these things out, but, like, he knows where all their objectives are going to be. He is always there, it seems like, whenever they're trying to do an objective. He just, unfortunately, is playing Fafnir, and very difficult for him to steal anything.
Yeah, the isn't bringing it to the table right now. Well, it goes into the ult, and fine. Atlas in with their threshold. Thanatos takes the sky, is able to execute him.
It's the one thing you expect from a Thanatos. To eliminate the enemy's numbers by at least one.
Yeah, we're seeing fast the ult as hot. Now you can't just sit there and take damage ever. Yi jungle buff it. Fight. As Atlas is doing his best, he's gonna hammer out, so the ult halfway through cooldown. But we find him creeping all the way around this fight. Got more. He was going for sees Thor back. He done that fight, but Nike is doing her best to be a nuisance to him as much as possible, which is exactly her job, and I want to see her continue it the rest of this game.
Definitely. That is the importance of having a Nike is just the constant CC. We do see Thor going from the air.
Thor lands on 3 as this Gold Fury was pulled for SPGamers. This huge damage over to the Achilles, and the leap in is what the kill. And turn around, and Nameless finds himself another. The objectives are being absolutely dominated this course. Needs to go into the ult for the CC Amir. He finds himself HP. He's trying to run this down, rush his zone, but Thor finds himself still dead. 2 people down onto the side of SPGamers. Hopefully Nameless can turn this into something, but they are just going with bait. They're hiding around the corner waiting for people to walk up, seeing what kind of kill they can get. They give up on the bait a little bit too soon and start to pull away. But Hoi Yi creeping around the other side. Thor hammers in, goes for the 2, but he the fox. He tries to take this guy. Yi jungle buff die. This is now a 3-0 in the favor of Nameless. Thor goes to the sky, lands on nobody except the yellow buff. But the Nike is able to just stay in their face as much as possible. We do see Fire Giant pulled by the backliners of Nameless. The only one stepping up yet again is Fafnir.
Dude, this Fafnir, I swear, he must have like a Discord canary going on where he knows their calls. Like he's in their comms hearing it, and every time, man, this Cuckoo needs to learn how much damage his ultimate does, because he is constantly throwing it out and it having 10 HP, and they're like tempting this Fafnir to just steal. They're tempting him so hard.
Yeah, hasn't timed this phenomenally, but they're confident that they can do a little more damage than this Fafnir hammer.
Yes, definitely so. Again, unfortunately, it still is Fafnir. I understand I'm talking a lot of, a lot of nonsense and, just negativity towards the Fafnir pick. I will say much love. Was my first diamond in Smite. Very much so an edgy pickup back in season 3 whenever he first came out, and then I realized I was just bad.
Listen, I agree with you. I think it has its place. I think it lends itself to certain comps. I just don't think this is one of those comps. I think this was a mispick, and it's not really facilitating a lot of what the rest of the team wants to do. My other question mark of a pickup was the Scylla, and the Scylla has actually been doing pretty phenomenal. We just need to see a little bit more response from this Fafnir pick to try and meet the rest of the team. And Thor picks up a kill onto the Thanatos, takes to the sky, does not land on anybody successful. Finds himself a little low for the siege play, but the rest of the team is healthy, and I think they're going to try and run down this mid bird. Actually, we see a split. Hoi Yi going over to the other side, so it's a clean 3-1 split right now. Hoi Yi, not who I would say has the best ability to solo out this Achilles. Achilles just steps up, clears the wave. But as the secondary wave comes up, Hoi Yi is able to step up, do a little bit of damage. The suns are dropped, creating a little bit of space back here. Has to take does ult away onto this Achilles. Achilles a lot of damage as well as Fafnir. The bird is sitting at 1 HP. Somebody needs to walk up in one basic hit, and that right bird does fall. First bird of the game goes to the side of the Nameless.
Yes. I definitely agree. A little odd to see the ADC try to split push whenever your entire team's in mid trying to push that.
Ooh, and a huge ultimate comes. Sorry to interrupt you. Huge ult comes out from the Kukulkan. Picks up a kill onto Yi jungle buff, and ultimate timeline activates. Gives him the ability to walk out. Low health bar onto this Hachiman and the Fafnir. We're watching 3 people drop what should have been a 1-bird walk away. The named SPGamers try and come back strong, and 4 of them fall. Now a 4-for-none pickup. 4 are down. It's just left up
This-
to Scylla. They are pushing in to try and end out this game. Nike is up. She should be teleporting back to this fight if it is up. So Nike returns back to this fight. This is a 5v1. Scylla's doing her best to back over from that other bird. The zoning was beautiful. She's going to turn around to do some kind of damage.
This is definitely when Scylla's gonna pick up a Penta here, I'm sure. Just not enough damage.
Yeah, they were separated expertly enough where she only is able to pick up that kill onto the Atlas. Realistically, she doesn't even pick up the kill. The Titan does. All she does is get away with the shell from this Atlas. So again, right where he left off, Skinder just doing a phenomenal job on this Thor. We saw some targeted bans from Nameless towards SB. I think it's time that SB needs to start showing some respect and target banning Skinder now. That was game 3 where we have Nameless leading 2-1 in this series of best of 5. We're gonna throw to a break and we'll join you shortly with game 4.